What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to your classes. Today we're going to go over Amazon Flex Delivery. It's a little more structured than your standard gig economy work, and we'll dive into that as well. But let's go over mainly the main important things, how to make the most money, so on and so forth. So, like everything else, you need to keep track of everything you spend on the job. And that's going to always go without saying to some degree. But sometimes people do certain apps like these or certain services like these, and they really look at it differently. Amazon delivery is a little bit different, that you can structure out how you do it so that there's set blocks of time you do delivery on. So you want to track your mileage, obviously. Anything you use your car for that involves that job, you need to track every single thing. Another good idea is to regularly maintenance your car. This is going to be for really any of these, but one thing a lot of people have said is that you can end up doing a lot more miles with Amazon Flex. So it's something to keep in mind, is that having a maintenance schedule and probably changing your oil every month and a half is going to be the safest bet. Getting a really high quality phone mount, also imperative. With Uber and Lyft, I always just use the AC vents one, but honestly, it's probably a good idea to invest in a much nicer one. I got a magnetic one later on in my driving career, and that was a really big difference maker and something I'd really recommend as well. Also, having a good navigation service that you're comfortable with. Really, it's going to come down to Apple Maps, Google Maps, and Waze. They all have their pros and cons, but really it comes down to user familiarity. I always used Apple Maps, which everyone thought was so foreign. But for most of the apps, Google Maps is going to integrate directly with it, which is probably why most people would use that as a preference. The other thing is to track basically when you're making the most money and to structure your deliveries around that. I can't give you guys concrete times because this is something that's actually vastly different in every area. So do it for like a month and then see what times you made the most money in, and then start requesting those blocks of times for your deliveries so that you're essentially maximizing your earnings. Reserving your favorite delivery blocks as well with those Amazon rewards, obviously very, very crucial to this. You also, when it comes to delivery, one thing my buddy told me is that you want to essentially organize your packages by the delivery area codes, so that way you're essentially going in order and not going in one part of town, driving back over. You really want to do them so that you're going in exact order. I actually knew this as well because I worked with a courier company for a while where I did deliveries. It wasn't a gig work though. It was actually, a job. And that was one thing that I started doing that really maximized my time, is I would look at the zip codes and then I would do them in order so that I wasn't cross-tracking back through different parts of town. It was efficiency, and it got me home earlier, which is obviously everyone's goal with something like Amazon Flex. Keep the boxes in your car at all times. Again, probably goes without saying, but you'd be shocked. And then always double check delivery instructions. This can be really big because a lot of times there can be two houses on one property. A lot of times there's multiple units on one property. Sometimes people have sleeping babies and they don't want you to ring the doorbell, or they work night shift and they don't want you to work the doorbell. I've had people that had me place a package like over their fence versus on their front door. So you always want to be checking the delivery instructions just to know that you're doing what they requested. And then another thing that I would say is to always communicate very proactively with the Amazon support. Just make sure you're staying in touch with them. Kind of like the Instacart segment with asking the employees. If you have help available, always use it. Don't try and figure everything out on your own. Keep your app updated to the latest version. That's going to go without saying. And then, obviously have a good source of entertainment. I'm a huge podcast geek. So if you want some good podcasts, one that I really love It's a little bit darker. It's called The Last Podcast on the Left. They cover conspiracy theories, cults, and all these really crazy things, but it's 3 comedians. It's very funny, very entertaining, and a great one to check out while you're on the road. And then stack Amazon Flex with other delivery apps. So kind of like how we do with Uber and Lyft, use Amazon Flex with other delivery services so you're maximizing your time. Now, all in all, guys, I'm not the biggest fan of Amazon Flex because you're a little bit capped on what you can do. So it's nice in that you know what you're making each day. But at the same note for me, it's like if I know what I'm making each day, it feels closer to a job. I want to feel like I have somewhat limitless potential, you know? So if you've enjoyed it, great. You know, there's something for everyone. Probably not the first service I would recommend for anybody. I know I haven't done it, but I know for a fact that you're essentially capped. So that really changes everything there, you know? But anyways, thank you guys for watching and showing up to today's class. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to talking to you guys in future segments.